that he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bryshere and he Meek Mills, and you know it, Bilal.
And Jaguar Wright, who also discloses Diddy's $10 million deal, kidnaps Bryshere Gray's mother. There was absolutely no connection between Jaguar Wright and Bryshere Gray's mother, particularly since Diddy had evaded the accusations after Rico had recently betrayed her by revealing the $10 million agreement she had made with him to sell Bryshere Gray to him for freak-offs. Bryshere Gray was tricked into believing that Diddy was providing him with a mentorship program. Jaguar Wright, however, claims he was simply utilized for his body and forced to breathe in a repulsive quantity of he and his career were completely lost for many years. Furthermore, Diddy gave his mother $10 million in return for their son, but he was blackballed and did not get any of it currently. He has leaned over and on top of several bear males. Riker tried to discuss what he was going through at the time, but people simply disregarded him and advised him to keep making movies. Riker simultaneously came under the ownership of Diddy and Will Smith. The instant his detonation struck the empire, he met them through Charlie Mack, his manager at the time, and it completely changed his life. Charlie first brought Bryshere and Diddy together because he wanted Diddy to support him in his musical endeavors, even if Will helped him plan his acting career. The poor child was doing everything but what he had been here to do. Jaguar claims that after a furious freak-off session, Will's neighbors heard Wright, Bryshere Gray, and Meek exiting his house.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick, he needed a dog.
But Jaguar kept leaking details about Will and Diddy. She accused the mother of Andrea Bryshere Gray of being complicit in the scheme to sell Bryshere Gray to Diddy and Will. In a startling interview that followed, initially, it was believed that Charlie was unaware of Bryshere's situation. However, he was fully aware that Bryshere's mother, Andrea, had consented to allow him to give her away so that this industry individuals in return for money. But here's the thing, everyone, according to Jaguar, Andrea received $10 million for Bryshere's surrender. And with all that money, Andrea planned to use Bryshere Gray's misery as a basis for a novel she was writing. People would want to hear the mother's side of the heartbreaking story. If Bryshere had experienced what he did.
And when I say Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'ma kick you in your pussy and then I'ma go to work North Philly style. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life, and what you had to do with it. You C.I.
Jaguar also disclosed that Andrea had approached her pleadingly for assistance with Bryshere, additionally because Charlie Max was the one who initially introduced Bryshere to Diddy and Will. She expressly instructed Andrea to remove him from his company. However, Andrea disregarded her advice and let Diddy and Will play with her infant, causing him to behave strangely.
Do you feel this is...
That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago safe, to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gay. You and Charlie Mack.
Everyone is aware that Bryshere Gray is currently earning money by selling films of Chicken Change Getting. drilled by several men at once and images of his poopy hole. Jaguar argues that they are supporting Bryshere's new career as a gay porn actor because they want everyone to believe that he is insane so that when he sues Diddy and Will, no one will take him seriously because they would believe that he is mentally unstable. Sadly, Bryshere Gray is among the numerous victims who have already been silenced by this deception about mental illness. Will, Jaden, Diddy, Bryshere Gray, and Justin Bieber were allegedly secretly filmed going crazy, according to Jaguar.
They're trying to slug him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on, man. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
No.
All that talent, and they and she let Charlie tune that boy up, well, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a filth. You're a big old than they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all. I'm sorry. The Bryshere conversation for me is not easy. Because I came to Belial and I asked Belial to help me save the kids, and all he was worried about was his book.
And if you were wondering what lawsuit Jaguar was talking about, it was rumored that he was getting ready to sue Diddy for $50 million a few months before Bryshere Gray's OFA career started. I suspect the soon-to-step-forward male victim of sex by this A-list mogul will not be the last man to do so, Sean Diddy Combs, a line from the LB said. However, shortly before this case was made public, Bryshere Gray retracted and suddenly, he started selling his cheeks after something obviously happened to make him reconsider. When Terrence Howard joined in, he appeared to affirm that Bryshere's current behavior is a result of his freak-offs with Diddy, which further clouded the picture. During a recent interview, he claimed that some young men were taking advantage of their status in the industry to obtain acting contracts and mentorships, and that everything changed when they let other guys sleep with them.
You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Even though Bryshere is obviously having a lot of difficulties, we will just have to wait till he is ready to come out and tell us the truth. Many people express their opinions as usual, and this individual said that Orlando Brown was also affected. However, he was labeled insane by others after he started doing interviews and stopping drugs. He is partially correct. This was one of those facts. This also holds true for Raspy from Me Decay. There could be a lot of sadness, misery, and illness in this life. I simply ask the Lord to cure them so that they can learn more about him. Another said, "This is terrible. He must sue for more than $50 million. So depressing. They not only annoy these young children, but they also make them addicted for their own self-centered enjoyment. They genuinely ruin their lives." Now, though, I want to hear your opinion. How do you feel about the claims that Diddy touched Brian? Is it true that his mother received $10 million for him? Please share your opinions in the space provided for comments below. Also, remember to see this other crazy video by clicking here.